Hello and welcome to the Maple Grove City Report. I'm Dave Kaiser from Northwest Community Television. It's time once again for your update of all that's new in Maple Grove and a recap of the August 6th council meeting. That's all next on the Maple Grove City Report. And thank you for joining us again on the Maple Grove City Report. Joining me, City Administrator Al Madsen. Al, welcome again.
Thank you.
It's been a while since our last update. That's why this stack is so tall right here.
Right.
So we've got quite a bit to talk about that's happening in the city, and then also a short council meeting that we'll give you a little recap of. But first, let's start what's happening around town. You have some news about garage doors.
Oh.
Why are garage doors in the news in Maple Grove?
Well, we've had a rash of burglaries, and I encourage all of our residents to keep your garage doors closed. Even if you're out in the backyard mowing the lawn, keep your garage door down. If at night, keep your garage door down. We're finding that a lot of folks are keeping the garage door open, like during the night. They're keeping it open. Burglars are going in there, taking stuff out of the garage. We've had cases where there've been two cars in a garage with the keys in the ignition. Both of those were stolen right out of the garage.
Okay.
We have cases where people will park their cars outside on their driveway, leave them unlocked, leave the keys in the ignition, leave laptops on the front seat, iPods, you name it. And so might as well put a sign on the outside that says,
Exactly.
come and take me. And so we're just encouraging all of our residents to make sure you keep your garage door down, keep your vehicles locked if you have them parked out in the driveway. Our police department, when they're on patrol, in the nighttime, will go up and knock on the door and wake up the resident and say, did you know your garage door is up? And so we're taking that action. But it does get kind of frustrating because you want to think that, well, gee, if I'm in my backyard mowing the lawn, there's no problem if my garage door stays up.
Sure.
But you have no idea who's going to be coming into your garage because you're in the back lawn. So again, the garage doors are left up all night and vehicles in the driveway with the keys in the ignition and valuables in the cars. And so we cannot stress enough, again, the importance of just taking the necessary precautions. So.
All right, yep, be smart there in your neighborhood.
Really do. And again, our officers, when they're out on patrol in the evenings, they are going to be knocking on your door and waking you up to tell you that your garage door is open or your vehicle's unlocked.
Right,
So.
probably not a bad thing to happen.
Absolutely right.
Maple Grove Days, we had that in the middle of July, and from what I saw, all went well. Everyone had fun.
They did. From what I saw, it's the same thing, and it was great to narrate the parade with you, and I always learn from the master. So
oh boy,
it was a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun, I guess, when you're sitting there and you're narrating the parade and you see the excitement and the enthusiasm. Not just kids, but mom and dads, and everybody is so pumped up. And we had people that came. The parade was on a Thursday night, and we had people that came out on a Tuesday afternoon to stake out their area,
right.
To watch the parade.
It is popular.
It is. It was just a lot of fun. We had no lost parents at the parade. We had no lost kids.
Good.
We had no injuries. I mean, everything went very well. And same thing for the entire Maple Grove Days. Everything went very well. Now and then you may be some fights that take place or things like that, and especially lost kids. But no, it went very well. It was a
and
great
weather-wise, the weather cooperated very well this year.
It really did. The weather for the parade was outstanding, and then just the weather on Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday for the Arts Council. Everything went. Yeah, it was a great Maple Grove Days. So my congratulations to Deb Syrie, who's president of the Maple Grove Community Organization, and her team.
Right, a lot of volunteers that put in just a few hours with that.
Hundreds of volunteers, and Deb Syrie just does an outstanding job along with her entire MGCO team. So
congratulations to them.
Very proud of all of them. We're going to be having a Public Works open house on September 22 from 9 to noon. We added on considerably to our Public Works facility, added on about 148,000 square feet. So when people do come to the open house and they go back into the cold storage area, they're going to see it's huge. I mean, it's really big. But what we're doing is we're finally consolidating all of our vehicles because we have a lot of vehicles that sit outside. We have a lot of vehicles where we've had to store at other areas. And so now we're bringing it all together under one roof. So.
Exactly. How is that transition going? Are they halfway moved in, all the way moved in? What's it like for the staff right now?
We're more than halfway moved in.
Okay.
More than half. I would say that probably this month we will have most of the finishing touches on, and we do have employees that are down there now.
Okay.
And so it's gone very well. It's been a long process, but it's gone very well. So we're very happy.
Is there a date then that you're inviting the public to come out, or what's the
September
timing on it?
22.
Okay, very good.
Yep, September 22 from 9 to noon. And this also will be the new location for the Historical Society, Maple Grove Historical
okay.
Society. They have a lot of things that are stored at the Government Center in the lower level. And so they'll be moving, once they finish cataloging everything, they'll be moving over to an area that we've got set aside for them.
Very nice.
And it'll be climate controlled, and the area, so they can store their historical artifacts there. They can have their meetings there. Certainly, the public can certainly come in because it will be a separate area. It's actually the area which, if you've ever been in the old building, you come in right to the receptionist area, and to the right is the lunchroom. That whole receptionist area and the lunchroom is now devoted to the Historical Society.
Very nice.
So
Good.
it'll be a very, very nice addition for them. So. Town Green performances just going gangbusters. We just keep pulling in a lot of residents and non-residents for the free concerts, and so everybody really seems to love it.
And the key to that seems to be the variety. You don't just have one type of band and one night per week.
Right.
You spread it all over the place. Is that Deb Koss that is the mastermind behind this plan?
Deb certainly is. She is our special events coordinator, and yes, she gets involved. As soon as this season ends, she'll be working on next season. And so, she does make sure that there is a nice variety, especially for kids, but also adults, young adults.
So something we might want to listen to, right, would be there on occasion.
Right. The Dylan concert, we did have, I was told, close to 1,000 people there for that. So other concerts, we've been pulling in 500, 700, 800 people. It's amazing. People love going. It's an outside venue. You get the band shell there, and they can sit out on their blankets, or they can sit out, on the tiered seating, and just enjoy a summer evening's concert. So.
And the parking ramp seems to be working well for that as well, kind of meeting multiple needs, lifetime library, and all these concerts.
It is because ours are typically, for example, concerts are sometimes we have an evening, sometimes we may have in the summertime a kids concert during the day, but people can also park at the Government Center if there's room there, but people also will park in the Hennepin County Library ramp.
Right.
And then, there's some parking is available along streets. People can park over at the community center. So the parking is working out very well. Yeah.
And again, if people are interested in finding out about more of those concerts, you can go to the city's website and see the full list there.
Sure
or
can.
just drive by on the big pole right in front of it. They've got all of the concerts listed there.
Right, absolutely right. Tuesday, way ahead of myself, August 14, there will be Beyond the Yellow Ribbon kickoff event. Beyond the Yellow Ribbon is kind of like the next step of the Yellow Ribbon program. Beyond the Yellow Ribbon takes care of the veterans that are coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan and other areas, and so the city has been working with representatives of Beyond the Yellow Ribbon group, and to the point now where there's a nice cohesive committee, and so now the committee is putting together a kickoff event on August 14 at 7 p.m. in the Town Green. Be an ice cream social, so
Can't beat
stop
that.
by and have some ice cream. And the kickoff event will run from 7 until about 8:15. And so anybody that's interested in getting involved and Beyond the Yellow Ribbon, show up. We also have information on our website. It's a very, very worthwhile program. So we're very happy to play the role we have.
The services that group would then provide, is that for people that have been in the military that live just in Maple Grove, or how broad is their reach once they start to do things?
Well, ours will be for Maple Grove veterans.
Okay,
but,
right.
But the Beyond the Yellow Ribbon program is wide ranging.
Exactly. I know other cities have it as well.
Right, it does. But that doesn't mean that the Maple Grove Beyond the Yellow Ribbon organization could not provide some assistance to communities surrounding us.
Exactly.
And the same, for those communities if they have a committee as well. So it's gone very well. There's an excited and a dedicated group of people. So it's great
I
to
would
see.
guess there are a number of veterans that live in the city of Maple Grove. I don't know if that's something that anyone keeps track of or has a number of, but I would guess quite a few.
I would say there is. I don't have an exact number. I know some of that is protected by data privacy. Depends on if they're disabled, not disabled. But I would say we do have a fairly sizable number, yes.
Maybe you can go on the 14th and ask that question.
a
I
good-
bet will have some of those answers.
There's a
there.
good question, you bet. And it's at the Town Green, and again, a ice cream social. So
All right, sounds good.
hopefully it'll be nice weather. We had National Night Out, which was another very successful event. We had, I think, in excess of 130 neighborhoods that registered for National Night Out, but you always have 10 or 15 or 20 or so that do not register. So,
Right.
The mayor and myself and one of the ambassadors, we visited about 6 or 7 neighborhoods, and each council member, they have their neighborhoods that they visit, and so some of these neighborhoods they put on quite
There's a
an
little
event.
planning that goes into
Oh,
it, you think?
my goodness. In the Nottingham area and Gleason Farms area, it's almost become legendary. It's just, they've got big inflatables.
Right.
And there's just hundreds of people there. And then you got other, neighborhoods where there might be 20 or 25, and that's great. But it's great that they're having, to be a part of the National Night Out. So,
Right, mission is to get neighbors meeting neighbors. And
Part-
then the city of Maple Grove has something ahead of it as well, so you take the opportunity. I think there might be some finely dressed people from the police force doing a little cooking.
Right. Yes, we have on the day of National Night Out, at 11:30 to I think about 1 or 1:30, we have a cookout, so to speak. We're over at the community center in the Lions Pavilion. The police department staff, they're busy cooking hot dogs, along with all other extra trimmings. And then there's a number of different booths that are set up on the parking lot of the community center. And so it was packed. It was absolutely packed this year.
That's great.
In fact, one of my council members, I saw him there, and he had to park over in the Cub Foods parking lot
Oh, my.
because our parking lot was totally jammed. So
Good sign of
I got lucky and I
success.
found a spot, and how did you get one and I didn't? So,
Very
but
good.
it was just tons of people, and again, lots of things for the kids during this kickoff event. But when you see some of these neighborhoods, they really put together quite an extravaganza.
Yep,
It's
that's
amazing.
fun.
It really is.
And obviously the work of the National Night Out doesn't end on that night.
No.
Part of the encouragement is the police to try to get people interested in Neighborhood Watch and some of
Yes.
those programs. And
Right.
again, if people are interested, I would guess they can go to the city's website
Go
or
to our
call the
website.
police department.
You can go to a website and get all kinds of information, and this kind of ties in, with our opening statement about
The
you know,
garage doors,
and,
right?
And National Night Out, again, getting to know your neighbors, but also being aware of what's happening in your neighborhood. Because years ago, when I was growing up, a porch was on the front of the house, facing the street.
Right.
Now a porch is known as a deck in the back of the house, and so you don't get to know your neighbors as much as you really should. And so National Night Out gives the neighbors the opportunity to get together. So one individual I was talking to at National Night Out, he said about the only time that he says hi to his neighbor is when they're maybe both driving in their driveway, waving at each other when they're coming home from work. And so the key is that you get people out and
Yep.
know your neighbors.
Very good.
Kerber Park, which is along Elm Creek Boulevard, we're going to be adding about 38 parking stalls to that, and so that'll be welcome because that's a very, very heavily used park there. And so we have a lot of folks that park in the off streets, and so that'll take some of that load off of the off
Okay,
streets.
good.
The other thing is we have sent out a precinct map, and we've sent out information to all of our residents alerting them as to where they vote. We do not have a precinct in a primary
Right.
in Maple Grove. Just have the general election. But we sent out maps along with a lot of other information to all the residents so they know where they are supposed to be voting. We have 23 precincts. I'm asking the residents just verify on the map, before you come to the general election, verify on the map that you know where that you're going to be voting. I expect this will be a large turnout in November, and so we want people to be prepared as much as they can so that the election judges do not have to take a lot of extra time to help someone figure out where are you at the right precinct or
Right.
you're not. So.
And the other part of that is make sure you know the candidates that you potentially would be
Yes.
voting for because of the
Yes.
redistricting, the little shuffling. You may be
Right.
surprised when you see the ballot and
Right, yeah.
it's different people than you might think of.
Correct, absolutely right. Good point. Yeah. Farmers Market once again will be Thursday, August 8th, from 3 to 7, and that just continues to amaze me the amount of people. We had well in excess of 2,500 people at the one a week ago, and this runs through October 18, and so it's just a huge success, highly successful. People love it. So.
I would guess now is peak time for some of the goodies to be out there.
It is, yeah. We're starting to find that that more and more of the fall
Right.
produce, so to speak, is now coming aboard. So yeah.
Very good.
Maple Grove Hospital continues to expand their fourth floor, and they just set a record, as we talked about earlier. They delivered 20 babies in one day. And
Oh
so-
my goodness. Hope they had extra staff on that day.
So do
Maybe
I.
some extra rooms.
So do I. It's 20 babies in one day, so that's just phenomenal. I mean, business is really you hate to say that business is great at a hospital.
Right.
But it is great at the hospital. And the staff there is just absolutely outstanding. I don't think you could find a better group of doctors and nurses and technicians than anywhere than the Maple Grove Hospital.
So the fourth floor that they were working on, not completed yet. Is there
Not quite.
time frame on that?
There's not, as far as I know, there's not.
Okay.
I can certainly find that out, but they found that they hadn't planned on expanding into the fourth floor this fast.
Right.
They thought, well, that'd be a number of years off, and so they're now moving into that fourth level, and it's a great facility. And Andy Cochran, who is the president of the Maple Grove Hospital, fantastic man, and all the staff there, just can't say enough about them. They're great.
So hopefully you don't have to go there, but at least stop by sometime and take a look at it.
They have great food. Their cafeteria there is
You're
outstanding.
speaking from a lot of experience here, Al.
Right, yeah, true. Their cafeteria does serve outstanding food, and that's open to the public. So go in and have a nice
There you
meal.
go.
Have
You
a nice
might
lunch.
meet Al there and have lunch with Al.
Yeah, I might be there myself having lunch. Let's see, Upshur Smith, which is one of the larger employers in Maple Grove. They're on the east side of 494. They are going to be adding 120,000 square feet of space to their building, and that's now a very, very sizable expansion plan. So we will be reviewing that over the next couple of weeks. So that'll be a very, very nice addition. Let me see if there's anything else here that I may have missed. I think that pretty much covers it. Again, security, safety, watch your garage doors, your vehicles parked in the driveway unlocked.
And I suppose before the next time we get together, or close to it, it'll be back to school time, and we
Yes.
always try to make a few mentions of that. There'll be a few buses out, and there'll be a few kids standing on the
Right.
curbs, so be aware of that as that draws close.
Absolutely right, yeah.
Sorry for the kids to say that school's almost back.
Right. I've had a number of calls from folks that have asked, why are the flags at half-staff? They're at half-staff because of the shooting in Wisconsin at the Sikh temple area. And so the president has ordered that American flags be flown at half-staff through August 10.
Okay,
So
Okay.
folks, I've had a number of calls that are wondering why they're at half-staff.
sure.
Building permits, we're still running behind last year. We're at 100 single-family building permits right now. Last year at this time, we were at 121. Foreclosures tend to hang about around the 250 mark, so we're kind of hanging tight around that mark. But we do have a good handle on vacant property. Excuse me, when our inspectors go out, They also go out and check vacant properties to make sure that there's no water running out of the door or the weeds aren't, taking over the place. And then we also have a lot of residents that keep us, up to date if there is a vacant home in their area. And if it may be owned by the lender, but a lot of times the lender
Right.
doesn't necessarily hire someone to get out and maintain the property. So if anybody does become aware of a vacant home in their area and they find that it needs maintenance, call us.
Okay.
We'll track down the owner and we'll notify the owner to get out and take care of it. So I think that's it. We had a nice, smooth council meeting. It was less than a half hour long. Just about everything was on consent. We did have findings of fact for 4 different places that serve alcohol, either sell it or serve it on site. And so what we did is at the last meeting, they were residents, the businesses were advised that there'd be a $2,000 fine, and then either a 2-day or a 5-day suspension, depending on how many violations they've had within a certain period of time.
Right.
And so this past Monday night, it was just a formality to adopt the findings of fact, and then we laid out the days in which the establishments would not be able to serve liquor.
Okay.
So it's unfortunate. I'm hoping that one of these times it will have 0. We do these alcohol
That'd be very
compliance
nice,
checks several times during the year, and it would be nice to have 0. We also have alcohol training, where we bring in all of the restaurant owners, wait staff, and we hold several of these throughout the year, and we bring in a professional trainer, and he goes through everything that anybody that's dispensing alcohol needs to know.
Right.
Doesn't matter if you're management or the owner, wait staff, and Brian Klingon does just a dynamite job on that. So we did sell a piece of land for a senior housing, multi-family senior housing, about 351 units, roughly just under 15 acres that we're selling to Silvercrest Development. And it's going to be, it's across from, it's on the south side of Weaver Lake Road and across from Lifetime.
Okay.
And it's a parcel of land that the city's owned for a long, long time. And it's going to be a wonderful facility there. It'll be a 2-phase.
And the timing on that, when we'll see some ground being shoveled up?
I think probably late spring of 2013. They
Okay.
still have a lot of due diligence that they
Sure.
have to go through. But I'm thinking late spring of 2013. Again, it's a 2-phase. They probably will do maybe 160 the first phase and then the balance the second phase. But
Okay.
it'll be equal to or greater than Summit Place, which is a development that they did in Eden Prairie, which is very attractive, and so it'll be just a great addition to that corner. So we're excited about that. We did have a public hearing. We're required to have a public hearing regarding the city's wellhead protection plan, and so we did adopt the plan, and then that was it. So
Okay.
it was a meeting got over before 8 o'clock, so it's just a nice, smooth meeting.
Very good. While we have a couple minutes left, maybe a little construction and retail update for people. If you've driven down Weaver Lake Road lately, going between Maple Grove and Brooklyn Park, you have noticed a few trucks.
Right.
Give us the update on how that is coming along.
Well, I've been told that that's ahead of schedule,
Okay.
which is great, and that will clearly be done before the end of this year.
Very nice.
We did run into a little bit of delay in dealing with the railroad, which I guess was not unexpected, past experiences, but I've been assured that that will be done before the end of the year. Bass Lake Road
Right.
continues to move along very well, and again, that will be done before the end of the year. So we're going to have a couple of major transportation routes that will be done before the end of the year. Weaver Lake Road, as you're come off the freeway in Weaver Lake Road, if you take a left, you're going to head down to an area where there's going to be a lot of street reconstruction
Right.
going on. Weaver Lake Road's going to, we're not going to rip it up entirely, but there's a lot of milling that's going to be going on and repaving and things like that. So just
A
be
very
careful of.
heavily used road, that little section
Oh,
right there.
very much, very much. And so just be careful,
Okay.
when you're out driving in that area.
Very
Watch
good.
out for the workers and the trucks. And then we did set a public, not a public hearing, but we did a special city council meeting for August 20 at 6:30. in the mayor's conference room. The purpose is to review the proposed 2013 budget, which I think is going to be very, very beneficial to our residents. It's the lowest. I'm going on 30 years with the city, and it's the lowest increase that I have seen in my time here. And so we're very pleased with that. I applaud all of my department directors for keeping the expenses down. They're managing their budgets very, very well. And so I think the residents will be pleased with the 2013 budget.
Very good. And a quick retail update around town for people that like to go out to a few restaurants. We've seen some things going on.
Redstone?
Boston's, right, they finally seem to be doing some construction there after a little bit of a holdup.
Right. Boston Market, or Boston Pizza, just sold their facility to Redstone Restaurant, and Redstone has got everything under construction now. You'll see a whole new look, inside and out, so it'll be a whole new look. Nadia's Cupcakes, they
Right.
opened. White Castle is opening August 12. So we've got some others that are coming up. Whole Foods
Right.
is going into the former Ultimate Electronics space. No date set as to when that'll happen.
Okay.
Charming Charlie's, which is a women's accessory store, that is located in the Fountains, and that now just opened. So we still have some vacancies. The Gander Mountain space,
Right.
The Borders book space, World Market. Those are probably three of the biggest vacant spaces that we have. And so we're working hard with the shopping center owners and developers
Exactly.
to get some folks in there. So.
All right, very good.
The area out by the old Target, that shopping center, that little strip center out there, filled out.
Yep.
It's filled out very, very quickly to the amazement. Becker Furniture World opened their facility, and so that whole area there is really now starting to take shape and come alive.
Yep,
So
kind of a nice rebirth in that area.
it sure is, yes.
All right, Al, thanks again for your time. We
Thank you, Dave.
appreciate it. Let's leave you with the contact information for the city and also the next council meeting date. If you have any questions, you can always go to the city's website. There you see the address at the top of the screen, all the information you might need to know about some of the things happening in town. Also, some of the events coming up with the Yellow Ribbon Committee will all be there. The next meeting is the 20th at 7:30 at the Government Center, 494-6000, the number to the Government Center as well. And our viewer response line here at Northwest Community Television, if you have a question, 533-1710. We'll try to answer your question on an upcoming program. For Al Madsen, I'm Dave Kaiser. Thanks for joining us on the Maple Grove City Report.